Hello friends, welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're going to make one of my favorite recipes, and that's my mom's macaroni salad. So what you see on my counter is what we're going to use to make this, and as you can see, there really isn't a lot here. I mean, you got macaroni and mayonnaise, you've got some green and red pepper, some onions, some celery, some seasoning, mustard, and some vinegar. But when you put this all together, it really tastes great, and it's such a great thing for as the temperature's coming up outside and it's like you want to go out and have a picnic, or you want to be outside or something, but you want some cool food to take with you. This is an option, because whether this is a side, a main dish, or whatever you want to use it as, it has such a great taste. And when you mix this up, there's plenty here for several people to eat out of, which is perfect. It's just one of those things where, you know, you make it up, either you'd have it all at once, or you can even put this in the refrigerator for a day or so and eat on it that way, because I found the longer this sits, the better the flavor gets in it, because it's just one of those things where it has time to marinate and it just really works well together. So we're going to start with 2 ribs of celery, and we're going to cut this up kind of smaller, fine pieces. We don't want huge pieces, but we do want to break them up as we go along, and make sure that there's none of that stringiness that runs down the side of the celery, because we don't want that ending up in the macaroni salad. So we want to keep breaking it up as we go and pull that part out, so that way it doesn't accidentally end up in what we're about to eat. So basically, do this and then go ahead and move back over to cutting up again. And after you go so far, like, you know, if you cut up like a third of the stalk or whatever here, you just basically want to go through it just to make sure you're not getting any of that stringiness. And really, this is not hard, but make sure you're cutting these into smaller pieces, because we just don't want any overpowering celery or any huge pieces in any part of this that you're eating at one time. Now, you see that the end of this stalk of celery is really big. Okay, take it, cut it, and then go and cut it straight through the center, so that way you don't have enormous pieces. But we're just going to keep going through this, cutting, making sure that as we go along, we keep these really thin. And that way, you know, these are going to be perfect for going in. And basically at the end of this, you're probably going to have somewhere around maybe 3/4 of a cup of celery. That's kind of our goal for this. We're not trying to overpower it. Now, if you don't like celery that much, you can dial that back a little bit and just use less of it. But the celery is there for a reason, because it does give a lot of flavor to what we're making. So go ahead and break those up and make sure that you get all of those pieces of stringiness out of there, because we really don't want to deal with it. So, and once these are all broken up and set to the side, we're going to move on, because we're going to end up cutting up an onion next, because you're going to need at least, I'd say, a medium onion, because you want to actually get a decent amount of onion in this, because again, it's something that adds to the flavor, and that's just something that really works so well, because it's kind of odd that all of the things that go into this each have their own distinct taste and everything, and they really add a lot to what you're doing. So go ahead and cut your onion in half, flip it over, cut it across, and then just go ahead and start cutting these into small pieces. Now these, basically you can make them as thin as you want to be, because like some people want larger pieces of onion, some people want thinner pieces of onion. The onion isn't really as rough to eat when it's a larger piece compared to the celery, because the celery kind of packs a punch. So go ahead and cut these up as best you can. Make sure that you get them to whatever size you want them to be. You don't want huge pieces, but like I said, it's kind of one of those things, it's your choice when you get it down to size how big you want that onion to be. So, and once that's all cut up, we're going to actually make sure that the pieces are broken up, because you want to make sure before you put them in that you don't have large pieces of onion that are stuck together. Even though you cut them anyway, they still kind of stick together sometimes. Just break them up with your fingers, and we're going to continue to move on from that. Now, I have green and red peppers going into this mix. Now, mine were frozen, so, and that's perfectly fine. And as you can see here with this, I have quite a bit of this, but basically it's about 3/4 of a cup. And when you put this onto my cutting board here, this is what's all going in vegetable wise. So you can see there's quite a lot of vegetables in this. And if you have to, you can use the frozen green and red peppers, or you could get regular green and red peppers that just straight out the store and cut them up yourself, not frozen, and then you're perfectly fine. So either way you want to go on that is fine. So we're going to take a pot of water and bring it up to a boil, get it really hot before we add anything to it, because we are going to get ready to make our macaroni that's going to go into this. And you're going to need 8 ounces of macaroni to cook this. But we're going to add a little bit of salt and oil to this pan before we start cooking. because if you put the salt and the oil in, it's going to stop some of the stickiness of the noodles from sticking together, but also the salt just helps in the flavor. So as I said, 8 ounces into your pot. We're going to bring this up to a boil, and you're going to cook per the instructions on the box that you have, which means that these could probably be in there like maybe 9-10 minutes. And we're going to just let them boil and do their deal, and then when we come back, we're going to drain them. But in the meantime, we're going to just let this go and do its thing and make sure that they are cooked completely through. So you may need to stir them from time to time as they're cooking, just to make sure that none of them stuck. The best thing about the way I put the oil in my pan, it doesn't actually let them stick together that much, and that's a wonderful thing, because sometimes when you cook noodles, they just stick together when they're in the bottom of the water or whatever. So we're going to start out with a large bowl. We put our drained noodles into it, and we are adding to this 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. And then on top of that, we have 2 tablespoons of vinegar. Then we're adding 1 tablespoon of mustard. And then after that, we have a cup of mayonnaise. So go ahead and mix this up a little bit, and then we'll bring our mayonnaise in on top. And go ahead and put that all in there. Make sure you don't leave any of it in the cup, because we don't want to waste any. And go ahead and just stir this up as is to start with. So once we get this all mixed together, we will be bringing in our vegetables afterwards, but we want to mix it up a bit first. So now once that's stirred in a bit, make sure the mayonnaise got through it a little bit. We're going to go ahead and add in all of the vegetables that we had waiting for this. So go ahead and move them as best you can, because there's a lot. And then once they're in there, we're going to go ahead and stir this and mix it up until we get completely mixed through. Now, just a reminder, once this is completely mixed up, we're not really ready to eat this yet. You need to refrigerate it, because that's going to help it thicken up, it's going to help it set up, and it's going to let all this stuff have a moment to mix together and mix the flavor and actually do what it's supposed to do to make it taste like macaroni salad. Because you can taste it when it's hot, it's going to have a totally different taste than when you actually get this out refrigerated. But like I said, once it's in the refrigerator, the flavor is going to be there, and then after it sits in there for a while, it's going to start mingling and get a little bit better every time you go back to it. And when I was done, mine looked something like this, and this has the most amazing taste, and it's such a great treat to eat this for a picnic or for whatever. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out the Southern Mountain Kitchen website, where you can get a free recipe, check out the cookbooks available from the Southern Mountain Kitchen, and if you'd like to, you could order a cookbook at a discounted price, cheaper than Amazon, with shipping that is also cheaper than Amazon. So if you get a chance, check it out, and I hope you have a great day.